Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Now, someone long ago said, a ship is always safe at the shore, but that is not what it is built for. So no risk, no gain. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the India Risk Management Awards 2017, presented by ICICI Lombard and CNBC TV18. In today's globalized and deeply integrated world, risk management is an important strategic tool for sustainable growth of organizations in corporate India. The India Risk Management Awards 2017, presented by ICICI Lombard and CNBC TV18, is a unique platform that honors organizations that have developed the best risk management practices and capabilities across business categories. Now, without further ado, it's time for the India Risk Management Awards 2017. To begin the evening, I would like to invite on stage our editor, Special Project CNBC TV18, A.B. Ravi, to address the gathering.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the third edition of India Risk Management Awards. Now, let me put today's event into context. Today's CEO face newer and newer challenges. Their risk spectrum has widened. It is no more about managing fire, earthquake, cyclone, labor problem, or for that matter, succession planning. All these are important, but in terms of priority, they are not among the top 5 risks. In today's interconnected and interdependent world, there are newer kinds of risks: cyber attack, disruptive technologies, regulatory risk, geopolitical risk, social media risk, amongst others. It has become like a moving goalpost, which the CEO has to anticipate. For instance, who would have factored in Brexit or demonetization of the rupee, or for that matter, even the victory of Donald Trump? Come to think of it, the Black Swan event and Grey Swan event are a reality. I would say that these low probability, high impact events are happening little too frequently. Given this kind of scenarios, how does the CEO navigate through this risk like a trapeze artist, artfully, skillfully, and at the same time putting smile on the face of his stakeholders? That's a challenge. We at CNBC TV18 and our partner ICICI Lombard felt we need to institute a platform to recognize and honor the CEOs who have been able to anticipate these challenges by putting in place a robust risk management that helps the companies maximize profit and minimize risk. In other words, this joint initiative seeks to acknowledge the kind of risk management they have put in place that not only preserves and protects values, but also creates value for the stakeholders. We're also very clear that risk management should be in sync with the CEO's business strategy. Thus was born the India Risk Management Award 3 years ago in partnership with ICICI Lombard. Well, the lineup this evening is indeed interesting. So all I can say is sit back, relax, and enjoy the proceeding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for starting the evening on that perfect note. This year, the India Risk Management Awards evoked a tremendous response from large, medium, SME and public sector enterprises across the country. CNBC TV18 was supported by one of our partners, KPMG India, and along with the jury, handpicked the winners after intense deliberations. I'd now like to invite on stage the man who has been at the helm of these awards, Managing Director and CEO of ICICI Lombard, Mr. Bhargav Das Gupta.
Good evening, everyone. It's indeed a privilege and an honor to welcome all of you to the third India Risk Management Award. 3 years back, when we thought of instituting something to recognize companies which look at risk management as a strategic tool, we and CNBC got together and we debated and deliberated on how do we build a platform like this. If you looked at that point in time, there were awards for the best company, the most innovative company, awards for technology, awards for CFOs. But unfortunately, there was no real recognition of the fact that risk management is indeed a strategic tool, and companies which focus on risk management get the true recognition that they deserve. That's how this journey started 3 years back along with our partner CNBC. And it's indeed a real pleasure to see how this platform has grown and developed over these 3 years. As an insurance company, around the same time, around three and a half years back, we said that when you're looking at risk management as an insurance entity, how do you work with companies in a same manner so that you work with them as a strategic partner. The traditional approach to insurance is risk transfer. You give me a premium. If something happens, an economic loss, we will pay a claim. It's classically just a risk transfer approach. So we said that, why don't we look at partnering with companies on a risk management journey, look at risk mitigation, risk prevention. As an insurance company, we get a lot of insights, a lot of data, a lot of benchmarking ability in terms of understanding, practices that mitigate and reduce risk. So we said, can we not analyze the claims data? Can we not look at why is there a claim in the first place and understand and eliminate that potential risk? It wasn't an easy journey. It was non-traditional. It was very different from what the market was doing. And it took us some time to establish ourselves in that journey. But what really heartens us is that as we speak today, we have, as of now, more than 250 corporate clients who are working with us in that approach of strategic risk management, risk mitigation, and risk prevention rather than just risk transfer. With that, I will just take this opportunity to thank all of you. Thank CNBC and thank our partner, KPMG, in this journey that we've had on the risk management side. And look forward to engaging with you over this evening and the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dasgupta. And now I would like to welcome our chief guest for the India Risk Management Awards 2017. He's a distinguished professor at New York University's Polytechnic Institute, and that is just one of his many successful careers. We're delighted to have him join us on the most apt occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Naseem Nicholas Taleb.
Let us say that I randomly select 2 people from the world population and I get a tail event. 2 people with a total height of 4 meters and 20 centimeters. What's the most likely combination? 210 and 210. You're not going to have 10 centimeters and 4 meters, and 10 centimeters, all right? 210. In other words, there are domains, that's Mediocristan, that's the thin-tailed domain, in which if an event happens, it's an accumulation of more than one condition, not just one event happening. And that's pretty much a catastrophe principle. Insurance has been doing these things for 500 years. They understand the problem. People in finance, they don't quite understand it yet. Traders know it. Now, let's play the same thought experiment, different domain. And I randomly select from the population someone with a random index, and I have 2 people in my sample, and their total net worth is $36 million. That's a tail event. What's the most likely combination? 18 million or 18 million? No, pretty much like 36 and 0. You see? Okay, so it's very simple. There are domains in which if something happens, odds are it came from one event. If you lose $10 million on a desk, it's not like you lost $1 million a day, 10 days, plus 10 million. So there's a difference between these 2 domains, and it's very crisp. We'll just play that thought experiment. If someone told you I consumed last year 500,000 calories, under one condition of meat, say, did it come from one meal? No. A lot of meals. So the difference is very big because it's not changing the colors of the dress. Say we think Mediocristan, Extremistan. It's an entire reasoning that goes out the window. You have to think in a certain way about risk, and the difference between Mediocristan and Extremistan becomes the dominant one. Mediocristan is what insurance companies know how to deal with, and they recognize the difference. They give reinsurers Extremistan. But policymakers, unfortunately, are not educated in that. So they say, we're overreacting to terrorism. So thank you. I'm very honored to be here. I'm particularly honored to be, elevating the role of risk manager in society. Thanks for inviting me.
according to me, risk management should always be driven from top down. The reason is that people look to their leaders for directions and for leadership. And when we do not see top management being focused on risk management in that particular corporate, we do not see risk management being taken seriously. Unfortunately, risk management is given as an add-on activity in many corporates. Like, for example, they do not have a separate or a specific CRO to do the job. Now, it is very essential for all corporates to have a CRO reporting directly to the board. It should not be given as an add-on responsibility to one of the senior management members, generally a CFO, because the CFO has more important other priorities to look at, and in the bargain, risk management is always sacrificed. So my view is that, and the view of most of us risk managers, is that there should be a separate CRO reporting directly to the top management. And the top management themselves should be taking interest and ensure that they attend at least quarterly the risk committee meetings, which are the internal risk committee meetings, apart from the so-called regulatory risk committee meetings, which are chaired by independent board members.
Now, Goethe once proclaimed, the dangers of life are infinite, and among them is safety. Is this the mantra of our winners tonight? It's time to find out. The set of awards this year is for Best Risk Management Framework and Systems. They recognize the initiative taken by a company to build a comprehensive risk management framework to mitigate macro-level company-wide risks. And to felicitate the winners, I'd like to invite on stage President TV18 and CEO of Forbes India, Joy Chakraborty, Group Head of Audit and Risk Management, Reliance Industries Limited, Rui Bastos, and I'd like to invite back on stage Mr. Bhargav Dasgupta. Let's take a look at our first award category for this evening.
Best ITES Risk Management.
This company's multinational bouquet of services of information technology, networking solutions, and business process outsourcing has led them to creating a risk-aware culture, where the risk management process is a continual one. Risk officers work closely with an enterprise risk committee and are part of the business planning process, which includes using risk analytics in decision-making. They were awarded the ASSOCHAM Corporate Governance Excellence Award 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, our first winner for the evening is Tech Mahindra. I'd like to invite on stage Milind Kulkarni, Chief Financial Officer, to receive the award. Congratulations, sir. I would also like to invite Dr. Taleb back on stage to join our presenters. Here's a look at our next award category this evening.
Best Pharma Risk Management.
This pharma giant has a presence in over 40 countries. Member of their board of directors, also head their risk committee and are assisted by a core operating group made up of business leaders from across the globe, ensuring a multi-level scrutiny of plans. Compliance to industry standards, product liability, and clinical trial-related risk, information security, and data privacy are the main areas the board focuses on. They received the Golden Peacock Management Award in 2015. The winner is Glenmark Pharmaceuticals. I'd like to invite on stage P. Ganesh, President and Chief Financial Officer, to receive the award. Moving on, here's our next category for this evening. Best
Sustainability Risk Management.
Founded 120 years ago, this winner operates in a multitude of sectors and has been on an expansion drive. Its risk management runs parallel to it with a focus on sustainability and tackling risk in the form of green procurement, human rights, health and safety, waste management and renewables. They look to create shared value through Godrej Good and Green, which outlines 5 environmental sustainability goals to be achieved by 2020. They won the Golden Peacock Award for Sustainability 2015. You guessed it right, the winner is Godrej Group. I'd like to invite on stage Adi Godrej Chairman to receive the award. Moving on, here's a look at the next category in the India Risk Management Awards this evening.
Best Telecom Risk Management.
Now, risk management is embedded in this company's operating framework, and robust processes are in place to identify key risks across the group and prioritize relevant action plans to mitigate these risks. They assess business risk for the company globally for its India, South Asia and Africa operations. The company believes in outsourcing processes to experts who have a better capability to mitigate risk. They received the Best Governed Company Award at the Asia Business Responsibility Summit 2017, and they have been the previous recipients of this award as well. That's right, it's Bharti Airtel. I'd like to invite on stage Samir Batra to receive the award. Moving on, here's a look at our 5th award category this evening.
Best Capital Projects and Infrastructure Risk Management.
With comprehensive risk management processes based on the COSO framework, this company has a highly diversified and complex business coupled with a well-documented and strong risk management framework which commensurates with the size, scale and diversification of its business. Their project Lakshya is a comprehensive integrated planning process which utilizes the inputs of their risk management department. They were given the Company of the Year Award 2016 by the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. The winner is Larsen & Toubro. I'd like to invite on stage Chief Financial Officer R. Shankar Raman and team to receive the award.
We've been doing the risk management and have this formal forum for almost last 13 years. Okay, so is that we've been doing something very over a long period, and we do it at every level in the organization. I mean, it starts from the board members, but it actually goes down to our business units where we take their inputs also for risk management.
I was not expecting it, but I think it's a great tribute, and I'm particularly happy that we won it for sustainability, which is a great goal in our group. Risk management is a very important factor, and as time progresses, risks become more and more, and management of those risks become difficult. Therefore, doing a good job is very essential.
It's definitely a great feeling. I wouldn't say we were expecting the award, but having received the award, it's not come as a major surprise either.
Many people in our company have been working for risk management. So in a way, it endorses the belief they have in the function. And such public recognition gives us confidence that we are at least walking the right path.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our next category this evening.
Best Agriculture Risk Management.
The next winner is a leading manufacturer of fertilizers, petrochemicals, industrial gases, plastics and fibers, amongst other goods, and they have been tackling risk for 54 years. Their program of risk recognition, monitoring and mitigation at operational, technological and environmental levels is thorough and specifically delegated amongst dedicated departments. Hence, they frequently achieve the highest industry standards. They were awarded the Adam Smith Award Asia for Best Risk Management in 2015. Congratulations, Gujarat State Fertilizers and Chemicals. I'd like to invite on stage S.K. Bajpai to receive the award. On to the next award category for this evening.
Best FMCG Risk Management.
A leading FMCG company with 5 flagship brands under it, this company tackles with financial risks such as foreign exchange, climate change risk, and counterfeit product risk, amongst others. They are driven by risk-averse management and operate with a risk management committee as well as an audit and risk committee. The ERM program has been in place since 6 years, and a risk register is updated on a quarterly basis, which categorizes risks as critical or non-critical. They were ranked among the top 50 most valuable Indian brands 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Dabur India. I'd like to invite on stage Ashok Jain to receive the award. Many congratulations. I would now also like to thank our presenters on stage. Thank you so much. Huge round of applause for our presenters here. I'd now like to invite Executive Editor of CNBC TV 18, Latha Venkatesh, to say a few words.
Well, members of the jury, prize winners, ladies and gentlemen, and above all, Mr. Nasim Taleb. Thank you very much, Professor Taleb, first of all, for gracing the occasion, and our eminent jury for patiently going through so many nominations and giving us advice to improve the awards in the years to come. Risk management anywhere in the world and in India is a fledgling. As we realize black swan after black swan hits us, we realize we are still learning. We are still learning how we can make our institutions anti-fragile, as it were, and that's why we thought that to grace this occasion, the best person we could call is the guru of anti-fragility, as it were, to give us advice on how we can make our organizations nimble to be able to face risks and to be ever learning about the swan that is lurking round the corner to check whether it is black or white or gray. Well, we have tried to give in several sector categories. The chairman of the jury, Mr. Akhil Gupta, and the members of the jury have been large-hearted. There have been times when they felt that perhaps we should wait and let the sectors mature before we start recognizing them. But Mr. Gupta and the jury also thought that sometimes it would be better to give the award and encourage future participants to think in terms of risk management. So it was both a carrot and a stick that they were trying to employ, or trying to deploy when they were recognizing the awards. Our expectation is that as we cross 3, that's the 3rd year of Risk Management Awards, we will have more exacting standards. We request that by word of mouth, more companies participate and give us more information on the exacting standards that the jury has set and that the KPMG team has set, so that they're able to exact more and more information in terms of how companies approach risk and how they seek to meet and mitigate risk.
We understand what the things are coming in future, so we can assess the risk in a better way in comparison to other companies.
We have been getting number of awards on the governance practices, but for the risk management practice, it's the first award for us, and we feel honored to receive this award.
Well, Professor Taleb, thank you very much once again for joining us. I did get the key points that you raised, that my grandmother is better at understanding risk and preparing.
Some risks. Understanding some risks.
Some risks. Certainly more than financial models. That's an eye-opener.
Exactly. Yes.
Everything that you have written in randomness, in Black Swan, which I have with me, and anti-fragility, where I could only read reviews, and your own exposition of the book, have taught us or have made us sit up and look at things which models and academia doesn't quite prepare us for. So let me start with an autobiographical question, Professor Taleb. You are one of those rare people who profited in the 1987 crash and in the 2007 crisis as well. Can you tell us something about what made you see this crisis coming and how did you profit from them?
The first statement I'll make is that prediction is the wrong word, because in the risk domain, we don't talk about prediction. We talk about detection of fragility. So you have to detect what is fragile. If something is fragile, eventually it's going to break. That's the first statement, that understand what is fragile. Okay. Now, the second thing, some things are fragile in a local way, that's mediocre stand. Some things, systemic, are fragile, and these collapse. The crisis of 1987, I had no idea about fragility. And by then, I was making bets on extreme events because models used in finance were Gaussian. And it made no sense to me. And for a lot of people, it didn't really initially make sense. But, you know, some people substitute their own judgment, you know, that of others. But I didn't take, you know, the answer for an answer, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy every single option I can. So before 87, there was a Plaza Accord in 86, in which the market moved big time in currencies. And we thought we were going to make a little money because it was we made tons more. So we understood that that was a business to be in, bet on tail events. And so that's what happened to me. So there are two stories in there, actually reflected in two of my books. The Black Swan is about the incidence of these tail events in some domains. So basically, all you have to do is identify the domain in which it can happen. We know that 20 million people killed drowning in their bathtub independently will happen every, I don't know, 10 to the 100, okay? You know, so that's okay, but which is basically never. Whereas Ebola is more likely to do that. So therefore, identify the domain. And the second one is identify fragility. The two were combined in the crisis 2009. For the crisis 2009, I was much more prepared. I was more comfortable, and I had written the Black Swan. And I was completely depressed by the interpretation of my ideas on the Black Swan. Basically, nobody really got the point. And they say, well, let's forecast the next Black Swan. That's not how it works. Saying detect fragility. And the system was very fragile. And it was described in the Black Swan as being fragile.
Well, since you were once addicted to trading, and even though now you are more a full-time scholar than a trader, yeah. I do want to ask you, where do you see the top risk today, or the top three risks today? After all, we've seen a fairly decent Trump rally. There is a risk on across several financial assets. What would you say are the three big risks?
So the first big risk I see, let's forget about the economy and all that, is really severe, is from the reaction to Ebola. Why did I talk about Ebola? Because, so I can follow up now in a conversation by telling you really what we detected is a complete incompetence on the part of U.S. authorities, particularly State Department, in understanding the nature of multiplicative risk. So a friend of mine, we analyzed the situation, and we called up the State Department. A friend of mine contacted the State Department. He told them every plane that leaves Gabon, every person with Ebola will have 500 exposures on the way. And we're talking about the plague was traveling at a speed of something like 30 miles a day. This is traveling much faster. So, and the other thing, so it's fine. These risks, you got to recognize them, and they refuse to recognize them. We don't have to worry about conventional warfare. People keep, of course, it's a good idea for some people to convince you of it so can sell you weapons, but we have to worry about biological warfare first. And that, coupled with terrorism, is a severe threat.
Professor Taleb, thank you very much for sparing time for us, for coming over here and sparing time for us.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Lata. Thank you, Dr. Taleb, for giving a deeper context to the umbrella of risk management. Let's move on to our second round of awards tonight at the India Risk Management Awards 2017. To felicitate the winners, I'd like to invite Chairman Icon Investments Anil Singhvi, founder FinTech Law Sandeep Parekh, partner and head Risk Consulting KPMG India Mrityunjay Kapoor, and I'd like to invite back on stage Bhargav Das Gupta. On to our next category for the evening.
Best Retail Risk Management.
They're known for running two successful brands in the country, Domino's Pizza and Dunkin' Donuts. They stand out on account of the integrated supply chain adapted to Indian conditions and a comprehensive risk management framework covering economic uncertainty, inflation, competition, skill enrichment and supply chain. Their focus on expansion while maintaining a strong focus on managing risk is noteworthy. They were awarded the Golden Peacock National Quality Award by the Institute of Directors in 2015. Many congratulations, Jubilant Foodworks. I'd like to invite on stage Arvind Vats to receive the award. Congratulations, sir. Let's take a look at the next category at IRMA 2017.
Best Supply Chain Risk Management.
They are India's first and largest integrated logistics solutions provider in the private sector with a robust risk management system that largely covers their many vendors and involves complex projects such as movement of a 310 metric ton transformer from one port to another without glitches along the way. They facilitate dedicated risk workshops for each business vertical. They received the Logistics Award at Lloyd's List Asia Awards in 2016. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, is All Cargo Logistics. I'd like to invite on stage Director of Finance S. Suryanarayanan and team to receive the award. Many congratulations, team. Our next award, ladies and gentlemen, is for a sector that has changed India's standing on the global stage. Take a look.
Best Automotive Risk Management.
This automotive market leader holds the title of world #1 two-wheeler company in terms of unit sales with a wide range of product offerings. The company has a 4-tier risk management structure that has taken some interesting steps towards mitigating risk. To protect against brand infringement risk, the company has a program which detects and removes counterfeit parts from the market. They were named the Manufacturing Innovator of the Year at the Make in India Week in 2016. The winner is Hero Motorcorp. I'd like to invite on stage Ravi Sood, Chief Financial Officer, to receive the award. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's take a look at our next award category for this evening.
Best Metals and Mining Risk Management.
This multinational steel-making company has an annual crude steel capacity of 25.3 million tons. It stands out in this category on account of its well-documented integrated ERM system, a strong risk management framework, and is supported by a well-defined governance framework towards strengthening risk resilience and enhancing stakeholder value. They won the Golden Peacock Innovative Product Service Award 2016 and Prime Minister's Shram Award 2015. The winner in this category is Tata Steel. I'd like to invite on stage Kaushik Chatterjee, Group Executive Director, Finance and Corporate, to receive the award. Many congratulations. And on to our next award category for the evening. Let's take a look.
Best Power Risk Management.
Here we have a Mini Ratna Category 1 enterprise of the government which is engaged in the development of hydropower. The ERM program is driven by regulatory compliance with 4 levels of risk control. They face terrorism, political tariffs, market dynamics, and client concentration risks apart from the usual risks and are required to be thoroughly prepared for the same. They were conferred with the Corporate Governance Excellence Award in 2016. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, is NHPC. I'd like to invite on stage Executive Director Pradeep Johar and team to receive the award. Ladies and gentlemen, our last 3 awards for the evening. Here's our next award category.
Best Travel and Hospitality Risk Management.
Our next winner is a leading travel and tourism company. Risk is discussed as the divisional leadership team level first, and they have a fraud risk management program in place. They believe that risk appetite is strategic and risk tolerance is tactical. The ERM framework for the company has been developed keeping in mind the needs of internal as well as external stakeholders with a clear focus on managing the various types of risks. They won the Best Customer-Centric Company of the Year 2016 at the AIMIA Loyalty Awards. Congratulations to SOTC Travel Services. I'd like to invite on stage Group Chairman Madhavan Menon to receive the award. Let's move on to the next one. Here's the next category at the India Risk Management Awards.
Best PSU Risk Management.
Now, this winner is one of the largest power transmission companies in the world. They are responsible for the interstate power transmission of the country, which transfers power from surplus areas to deficit areas. Their risk management program is driven by regulatory compliance and strategic priority. They were the recipients of Dun & Bradstreet's India's Top PSU Award 2016 for their category. The winner is Power Grid Corporation of India. I'd like to invite on stage K. Srikanth, Director of Finance and team to receive this award. Many congratulations, team. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to announce the last winner of the evening for the category at IRMA 2017.
Best Conglomerate Risk Management.
This group's operations span 20 key industries with dedicated advanced risk management policies run by risk officers. They interestingly draw spiritual inspiration for risk definition from the Gayatri Mantra. Creativity, selflessness, independence, purity, intellect, and meditation successfully lead the way for this multinational conglomerate. They were awarded Manufacturer of the Year by CNBC Overdrive Awards 2016. Mahindra & Mahindra Limited, many congratulations. I'd like to invite on stage K.N. Vaidyanathan of Mahindra to receive the award. And with that, that, this year's India Risk Management Awards has come to an end. I'd like to congratulate all the well-deserved winners for constantly setting standards and building and promoting a strong risk management culture throughout the country. Congratulations. I'd request you to stay on stage, please. Before we bring the curtains down, I'd like to invite all the winners and presenters back on stage for a group photo.
It's very exciting and enriching to get an award like this from that too from CNBC. It is a testimony of what all we have done into this area. So I was not expecting, but it's some good news for us.
To win any award, and especially if it is coming from an eminent juries who judge your performance, I think it's always welcome. It gives a lot of fillip to the people who have worked hard. And it gives a lot of encouragement to all of us who put in a lot of hard work to get where we are.
Well, it's a good appreciation and recognition of the hard work which the board of the company, the leadership of the company and operating teams have put behind making this framework and making sure that it gets tested to mitigate the risk at various levels in the organization.
This recognition is a great encouragement to all the people in the company to imbibe risk management as a way of life, and therefore it feels good.
It's really very amazing to have that kind of the award. This is the first time. We have been working for this risk management in NHPC for the last 5-6 years and maybe more than that, and this is the first time we have been recognized.
We are absolutely excited and delighted to win this prestigious award. We operate in a very volatile environment, and we are a discretionary spend category. So if we are able to create a very robust framework, it obviously augurs well for our industry, and travel is a very, very good and a strong business. So we are very proud and excited to receive this award.
We were not expecting, though we did our best. So it is a pleasant surprise.
I think the entire structure of the group naturally lends to risk management. The engine of the group is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is about taking risks. So risk management, therefore, is just an institutionalizing process of what every manager in the company does intuitively. So therefore, the DNA of the group is that.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.